basically it's like a DJ app for MIDI files and MIDI songs, and you can transition between them and transform the MIDI and the audio in different ways. And I'm using a lot of different MIDI controls, of course. Like for example, I'm also using this mostly as a MIDI controller because it sends MIDI into the MacBook, and then I also use it as the audio interface for the audio output. But I don't use any of the software that came with it. I wrote my own software that talks to all the MIDI controllers together and has all the logic in itself. Like for example, here on these launch pads I have like different modes that I can switch between. That I basically like the logic of this doesn't live on the launch pad, it's all in this app. So I'm basically using these MIDI controllers as a dumb terminal, like I/O, basically, to interface with me, and all the logic is happening like this, and then I'm doing different MIDI transformations inside the software that are controlled through the MIDI controllers. And for example, like here I have different pages that I can switch between on this thing, so I press the button here, switches the page, like it's a virtual page. So I have like 16 physical parameters, but I have like 128 virtual ones that I can switch between for both decks and for global parameters. So it's like all of the things I'm doing, and there's like a lot of things you can do in the MIDI domain that you cannot do in the audio domain. Because, for example, if you want to detect chords, and you can see here I have chord detection. You can't really do that easily in the audio domain because the data is all, then you have to basically get it back onto a higher level, but in MIDI you already have it on the composition level, so you can easily do chord detection, and you can do interesting things at runtime with the chord information. For example, if you want to jam alone in the scale of the current chord, like they do in jazz or in general, like if you want to jam along, you have to be like aware of what the chord is. And here you can not only see it, but you can also integrate something like this, like the Holy keyboard, which I ordered, but it hasn't arrived yet. They delayed it for like a month. This was pre-order. But once I get this, I will then send the chord information to the keys through MIDI feedback, so I can see visually where the scale and the chord is, so I can jam along without spending 10,000 hours playing the piano to get to the level. And there's also this thing that
you can also use the launch pad for this, by the way.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But the thing is, here you don't have the back keys so much. It's kind of awkward. Like for example, I have them here, but it's kind of less scalable also.
Yeah, just give me another layout of the.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry.
That's a good point. For now, like I want to just briefly like talk about different ideas of how you guys can, or anyone in general can be more expressive by leveraging MIDI to the max. Because this is actually, I just made these slides before the talk. MIDI is the message. Leverage MIDI to the max, build your own high-level instrument, increase your expressiveness. So basically, this can be considered as like one instrument because it all works together as one thing, and all the different parts are aware of each other. And it's like, if you think about like a piano, it's kind of a low-level instrument because you have to cause the sounding of each note manually. It's a lot of manual labor. Like if you want to play multiple instrument strings at the same time, you cannot do it. You can maximally 10 notes at the same time, polyphonically on one instrument, but in MIDI you have 16 channels and you can parallelize things. Like if you can have like, of course, there's no, like you can have drum loops playing and then you can jam onto it, but you can also have like other interesting processes going on and transform the MIDI at runtime. And so historically a lot of people are using electronic music devices like this. It's like very kind of, you press like a button on a sequencer and it makes like a bleep or a loop or something. But it's kind of, there's like miles between the expressiveness of like traditional electronic instruments and like how acoustic musicians perform. Like if you watch like Carlos Santana perform on his electric guitar, you can feel much more through his expressiveness, what he's trying to express, than if someone is just like playing on a step sequencer or something. And so for years I was thinking about this gap that exists between what the digital technology currently allows in terms of people who are not using acoustic instruments but electronic instruments, how expressive can we be with them? There's still a gap, like like most electronic music still sounds like it's on a very fixed grid, like almost sounds like a spreadsheet a little bit, compared to like acoustic performed organic music. Like if you listen to a band or whatever, like there's so many micro articulations in music and it sounds kind of slightly different every time, because they have like much more control over each of the parameters. Like you can bend the guitar string slightly and it changes like the vibe slightly and stuff. And to get to that level with electronic instruments is possible. And the question is, how do we get there? Like, for example, if like this is how I prompted ChatGPT to generate this, because this is how I want to feel when I'm operating this. It's like like directly connected. It's almost like an extension of my body. And then the next level, the higher level, would be this, which is and it becomes an extension of your mind. And you don't.
It's a beautiful bed.
Exactly. I can hook you up. But the thing is, like here, you don't even think about the hardware anymore. You're just like flowing with it. And of course, it still takes practice. Once you build your own like high-level instrument with different MIDI controllers or different hardware devices, it still takes practice to become proficient or fluent with it, but much less practice than the 10,000 hours that people claim it takes to learn like violin or piano, because when you build your own instrument, you can actually build it in the way that your brain works, and not everyone's brain works the same way. And like you have different preferences and different tastes and so else. Like maybe you want to do like certain genre of music, and for that you don't need a lot of other stuff that instruments come with, or like even so you can completely think about from first principles how would your perfect instrument look like if you were able to design it in a way that it feels like this, or even just like this. Like if you think about it from first principles, not even think about what exists right now, then you can think about what you can combine out of the ingredients that exist to make that happen. For example, there's also this thing. It's like a new MIDI controller that has like a distance sensor and like different segments in the air that you can control, and it went kind of viral on social media, but it was also used in the Sphere in Las Vegas for some live performance. And this is like, you can pre-order this right now. The fourth batch is like in August. That's when they.
And it's only half a kidney, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, expensive.
But pre-ordering is like much cheaper than waiting.
Well, it's not a quarter kidney.
I think it's around a quarter kidney.
But I mean, what better way to spend money on than on your hobby, you know?
Yeah.
What else are you going to spend money on? And this is another thing. Modular MIDI controllers are a thing now. I mean, they have been a thing for a while, but I just found out about them like a month ago, because I was so used to these non-modular MIDI controllers that I didn't even think outside of the box, like what else has come into existence in the meantime, because I've been using these for years. And then I randomly did like a ChatGPT deep search and figured out, oh, there's something like the state of the art has advanced, and I was sleeping on it. And then I got two of these, which are integrated in my setup here. So you have like these endless encoders similar to this, and then you have like faders and stuff, and it's all powered by one USB cord. You can just magnetize them together, and there's like different like MPE controllers as well, like the whole like receiver, for example. There's also like this doubler. I also ordered this. The software has arrived at the hardware. And this allows you to sing a melody and it converts it to MIDI at runtime. So you can play the synthesizer with your voice. And you can also beatbox to play a drum kit in real time. They mostly advertise it for the drum kit usage, but I bought it for the melodic usage. And they also, you can use it with any dynamic microphone, but they also have like a kit that includes one. I don't know if everyone has it, but then there's also, these kind of the hard and continuing framework. I mean, this is like very expensive. It's like
No, all of them, all the kidneys.
Yeah, I mean, this is but this is even different to play than a normal piano or something like this. Like I chose this one because it's the tactile feel of pressing the keys is much better than.
Is it empty? The roll? The previous one, is it empty also?
Yes, it's fully MP enabled, and even so you have 4 dimensions. Like you can actually do the wiggling on the keys, and it sends pitch bend for that key, and the pressure of it, like the aftertouch and the instrument, like if you move the finger. And in combination with that, you can also use the airwave, which is a gesture detection device. So it can detect if you use it in combination with the piano, but you can also use it in combination with something like this, for example. If you just put it there, it has like the infrared camera, so it also works in the darkness. And then, like for example, if you move the hands like this, it detects it and sends MIDI control change for 6 different gestures. Like if you turn the hands, that's a different MIDI control change. And if you make a fist, it also like there's like 6 different gestures that it recognizes for each hand. And it's like a kind of more affordable variant of this thing. But this allows you to be more dramatic with the movements because the height that it detects is like larger. So if you're performing in front of a large crowd and you want to have like dramatic movements, you can use this better than this because this is more like time it's like sitting pianist or something.
Is this like a hologram or some kind of screen?
Oh, this is basically
the other one.
This is like
It's looking like this.
No, I don't think it's a screen. It's just.
no, it's not a screen.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's basically you play it in the air basically.
Ah, okay. So this is kind of a visualization of it. It's not you don't see it.
Mid-sway, the motion tracking controller redefining how music is
And they make
played.
even dubstep.
Now let me show you why it's the most exciting controller out there. Let me start your data. Count in into a zone into Expressive.
They have like different viral videos.
So it's kind of like a sophisticated pyramid.
Exactly. But it's more like the pyramid is very hard to learn. It's like the hardest to learn instrument. I actually had one at some point, but I gave it
But
back.
you don't even need to play notes. Sway is just
You can calibrate this like with different segments, different zones. Much more intuitive than a theory. And there's like to get the expressiveness on the target end, you can use synthesizers that support MPE or like the MIDI tuning standard. A lot of people don't know about. Many people have heard of MPE, MIDI polyphonic expression. That's like mainstream now, but the MIDI tuning standard, people are still sleeping on it. It's like for non-12 tone equal temperament scales. Yeah, background scales, but also medieval, mean tone temperament or like Pythagorean.
Just intonation. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Pythagorean.
Yeah, or even something like harmonic tuning, which is a dynamic retuning system that dynamically tunes the scale to make it as harmonic as possible, and it's actually built into the Waldorf synthesizers and some organs in some churches and stuff. And this sounds even more like majestic than anything with totally dependent. But so yeah, this is one of the synthesizers, for example, that supports both MPE and MIDI tuning standard. It says it here, MPE and I figured this out with the ChatGPT search. And also, so the keyword there is MTS ESP. That's for, like if you ask ChatGPT which synthesizers support this, you have to use this keyword MTS, that's the MIDI tuning standard. And ESP is like a plugin that synthesizers work in conjunction with, so that you only send your sysx messages to this, and they communicate with the synthesizer to retune the synthesizer every time. So they have a free plugin that does it, and so I'm going to actually implement remote tuning into this DJ application.
So it's kind of like the Canon instrument, where they tune every time there's like a sense, but they're playing, and while they're playing, they're tuning during the whole time.
Yeah.
Retuning different parts.
Yeah. Do you know Omar Suleiman? His keyboard players like
make own fret.
Orient master. In Bulgaria, usually when you search cork on the market, you will probably find all the guys selling it together with like fully equipped for playing Umar Suleiman and stuff.
They wanted to just oriental sound
Yeah, so the guy, his keyboard is all the time like with the pitch wheel, retuning it.
Or Suleiman, the keyboardist, some guy, Omar Suleiman, or maybe.
Yes.
Yes,
And
he is very good in the keyboard.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
Yeah.
the best.
I was doing like deep research on his keyboardist to find out how he does it, because I wanted to program the same articulations into the software that he's doing live.
Yeah,
to have the macro scales. And
but the thing, I'm curious what you
Yes,
find.
because the thing is, if you use the pitch wheel, you basically can only play monophonic, because it's still 12 tone equal temperament plus the pitch wheel. But ideally,
This is the charm of that music.
ideally you use the actual macron scale with this. And
Potentially you can use this keyboard controller, because in some of the mechanical scales when you go up is like certain amount of percentage, when you go down is a different amount.
yes, but you can detect these runs in MIDI processing if you go up, and then it switches. You can switch the scale.
Thanks for going now the
system
simplest.
exclusive.
When you tune a real, it's the same. You go from the middle. You started from A. There's maybe a quarter tone. The highest is quarter tone down. It has a different how to say skew and that harmony.
But is it dynamic, the texture going up or going down?
Yeah. You get different kinds of way how you sort of tune that.
So basically, if you have this, you can use any synthesizer to play like microtonal stuff.
Only those that support this protocol,
Okay.
Yeah.
which are very few, but still
Okay. Yeah.
all the good, like the really good ones they support.
The famous ones, yes, like
Yes.
the
For example, this one, but also Serum, Pigments, like the really professional ones, they know what's up and they know that people want this. But all the all the like basic synths don't support this. They don't even support MPE most of the time, or like, for example, like, yeah, I mean,
Don't be a basic synth.
exactly. That's the main takeaway of the talk.
Yeah.
But for example, here I was using medieval instruments. It's like a bagpipe, but it doesn't even support velocity sensitivity, you know? Like it's kind of limited. And it has like only 2 octave range. It's like,
But the interface is impressive.
yeah, I like it. I like the interface.
Very Game of Thrones.
Yeah. And this is also another, this brings me to another point. So like to get the expressiveness in is like through MIDI stuff, but then to actually render it in an expressive way, you can then think about how you're gonna articulate the MIDI data that you have onto the actual instruments. So like for example here it has like these key switches at the bottom, actually larger. Yeah, so there's like key switches at the bottom, and I can like press them from the launchpad here. It also has a drone. And yeah. So for example, if I load this song into the second deck,
It's on it.
it's on it exactly. Let's jump So now I can play the ornaments here.
And you can also play the ornaments potentially.
Yes. The next step after this is writing an algorithm that detects, based on the MIDI melody, which ornamentation should be automatically used. So I free up my hands for this and then do the next higher level thing. So it's like you build your instrument up from lowest levels of articulation, then you automate more after you figure out what's your taste with each thing. Then you automate that and then you go to the next high level stage so that at the end you become like the conductor.
Yeah, they connect to the brain.
Exactly. Exactly.
But is that your like your plan, like your master plan? Is it to
This is the
make-
master plan.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to confirm.
So yeah, I got really into medieval instruments. Like I have, I mean, for the bass I'm using the, I don't know if you know this instrument, this Sackbart. It's kind of, it sounds a bit like a tuba, but or like a trombone. But it actually doesn't go as low as I need for a hard-hitting bass. So I had to add
The
another.
few people doesn't hear the
Exactly.
Exactly. Something like group.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I realized. This is the main thing missing from the instruments. Back then they didn't have enough bass. But if they had, exactly.
But I think
That's why
we can figure out
that's why I'm layering it with the actual. Yeah, I mean it makes it less historically correct, but more fun. Yeah. So you have to make trade-offs. But if medieval people had access to like a hard-hitting bass, they would have chosen it too. So that's how I rationalize it. And there's also this one I layered with this other one. This is the Anya film. Yeah, so there's like all these different medieval instruments. But basically, it's kind of like one thing I can demonstrate also is like I want to morph between melodies. Like if you have a loop going in one deck and a loop going in another deck, and you want to transition from this one deck to the other one, you can kind of morph between the loops while you're playing. So you can, it's kind of like a higher order interpolation between musical elements. That because like in the audio domain, like you just are doing crossfading, but it's just doing the volume up and down of both decks. And if you think about higher order or higher level ways of musically going from one song to the next, like if you tell a human pianist to play one song and then smoothly go to another song, they will always do some kind of interpolation that is like improvised, at least if they're good, if they spend 10,000 hours practicing the instrument. But you don't have to do that if you just write some code that automates it, you know.
So it's
Man,
kind
you're
of
crazy.
like
That's nuts.
MIDI powered intelligent transitions between two pieces.
Yeah, exactly. So you have like.
Did you do Mariah Carey and what was the other band?
Really?
No,
He suggested, but I don't know if...
or maybe Merbo, I suggest you some combination that I will hear.
Okay, so we have like these two loops basically. We have.
You have that already. Like, do you have already?
Yes,
function?
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
Fuck. Sorry.
Exactly. So.
Wait for 5 years.
So now we have like two loops of the same length, and in a real DJ set, both decks will be playing. So like we have crossfader on the left side, that's the upper deck, that's like Daddy DJ, that you might know from, because Bass Hunter stole the melody for Dota. It's actually. So you would go into the so basically you would kind of play it into the loop, and you would activate the loop, and then the transition would start.
Can you control the transition parameter directly? So like with a fader.
Yes, exactly. That's what I have here.
Okay, cool.
So let's see. So I have I'm trying to get the timing right.
Do you have like sync phrase sync or
I have like beat sync and all MIDI events are on the grid already in the file basically. So
very important if you're a DJ. It's the
exactly.
main word.
This is another thing. A lot of DJs say, oh, you shouldn't use sync. But this just prevents you from ascending to the higher levels of expressiveness because then you're busy manually beat matching. And you know, the difference between there's like vinyl DJs, of course. Like the difference between what you can do with this and like, for example, you know James Hype. He's like doing a lot of crazy stuff with.
Keep in mind that we have
Rock the
one
left
more
turntable.
lecture.
Let's switch to the right. Rock the left turntable. Let's switch to the
We have
right.
one more person to
Rock the left turntable.
Okay.
Let's switch to the right. I keep rocking. I don't ruin the pace. Set it off. Check 1, 2 in the place.
So you can imagine if you don't have to spend time beat matching manually, you can do high-level articulations or expressions, which you can do something new basically. And but if you are stuck with vinyl or whatever, then you can only hit the ceiling of that medium.
So you must prepare all the
Medium.
stuff before.
Of course.
You're not able to do it live and say, okay, let's do this and this and this now.
I mean,
you decide now and
you can.
because that guy.
It's semi improvised, of course. Like I have the cue points set up.
It's able to improvise.
You can improvise.
Okay, can you start it from zero? You don't get any.
Yes, of course. But for example,
Just put the MIDI. I feel that I understand. You just decided let's do the pop MIDI, so you put it and started. And
yes, just like a normal DJ can know any song that someone asks if he hasn't prepared the cue points, but he might not know the perfect loop in it to transition from this other song. So it will be like a less impressive transition maybe, or less.
Yes, because the charm of this action.
But yeah, of course you can.
Body.
Yeah.
The presence of the body.
But even like all the DJs they prepare, they place the cue points, they place the loops, they even do edits to like extend the certain sections or whatever. Like whatever you're doing with whichever instrument is your like instrument of choice, you have to prepare, of course. But let's see here. So we have. So in the left deck now we only hear that deck, and now I switch to the 4-deck view because this upper deck will be used as the to store the interpolation result between the two loops. So if I press the button, now we get another deck going next to them, which contains the result of the interpolation between the two loops, like morphing, and you can see this value has the interpolation parameter. Right now it's 0, which means we are fully on this loop. Like this one is, you can see here the 1 is deck 1, and this is deck 2, which is this, and we're using deck 3, which is up here, to store the loop interpolation result, which currently is the value 0 because the knob is all the way to the left. And now I can turn the knob over to the right so that and you can observe how the pin contents change. Like if you look at this loop or down here, you can see how the MIDI is changing inside the loop. Also